This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 412 for the week of Monday, March 28th, 2016. My name is Zach.
And my name is Ed.
And my name is Steve.
On today's show, besides the two other people who introduced themselves, we have our Editor-in-Chief, Erin. Hey, Erin.
Hey, it's just me this week. Sorry.
How's it going?
I'm really good. I'm not as deliriously tired as I was on Saturday, so I'm feeling great.
I don't know how we got through
You
that.
guys were at Anime Boston. How was that?
We were.
It was
awesome.
It was cool. It was probably one of the best, it felt like one of my favorite panels that I've done in a really long time, but it's also the first one I've done in a really long time.
You've been doing panels for a long time now, too.
Yeah, since 2009. This is our 7th or 8th year of paneling. I don't know how that works. And Erin, this was your first time on a panel. How did that all go?
It was great. It was actually my first time, going to a panel, my first time hosting a panel. So I was really nervous, but, I was really pleased with the turnout. And like I told you, Zach, earlier, it was really cool that it was kind of like half and half men and women. So I thought that was really neat. Yeah.
One Piece crowds like that, actually.
We had some technical... There's a lot of issues that we had getting the audio for that. Hopefully we will have that. I don't think it's going to be in time for this episode that we're recording at the moment. So this week, what we're going to do for you, we recorded an interview with Eric Vale, since it's the year of Sanji. Don't expect too much talk about what's currently going on in the manga, though there probably will be, there is, not probably, I was there. There will be a slight bit of that. We're going to do that a little later in the show. We also have some news and anime recap and piece together for you. I do want to take this time to thank everyone who came to our Anime Boston panel. It was a ton of fun. It was a little shy at first getting everyone to ask questions, but once we got in the groove, there was a groove going. Lots of fun questions from you guys.
Really? Oh, sounds good.
I thought you were going to make another joke there, but okay, I'll take it. Next week...
That's just not usually how I would describe a panel at an anime convention, but if it sounds good.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. The manga returns next week, so we'll be back with our manga recap then. But for now, why don't we get into some news? Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the news segment with Erin, and I'm going to throw it over to Erin, who will be doing our news segment. Hi, Erin.
Hey, this is my segment now. This is my podcast now.
Oh, no.
So y'all better step aside.
Oh, shit.
For the next 7 to 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, we had a lot of great news last week. We got a trailer for One Piece Season 8, Voyage 1, which is coming out on May 31st, which is actually this Thursday.
No, May 31st. Yeah. May 31st is in a month and then another month.
Oh, yep. I can read.
Yes, math. It did mostly feature the voice of Ed Blaylock, so right there, swing.
Steve gets points there for using the word swing in a podcast.
Well, I don't know if I ever told you guys when I was in Dallas and I was in an Uber and the driver was playing a classic music, station, classical. And the DJ was Ed Blaylock, and the look on my face in the back seat, I was just like, I was in heaven.
Wow.
It's like not in my back seat, Steve. Anyway.
Anyway, we also got some news from the Shueisha Twitter account. They tweeted this weird thing saying, "What is Jump CS?"
Do we know the answer?
And it's just
to
an
that
announcement for this new domain that they have. Nobody really knows what it is.
I know.
Sounds like a new it sounds like a new mascot character, Jump CS. It's a big S with a pirate hat on. I don't know.
I know William was saying it might be the character store or something like that because Shueisha recently copyrighted that name somewhere.
What the hell's a character store?
I don't know. Like maybe you can literally buy Luffy, like your own personal Luffy.
How much do you think a
I,
Luffy would
I know.
cost?
I know Japan has history with marrying characters and pillows and other things, and I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah, I don't.
All I need to know is that would it be legally binding in my state?
Well, if you talk to your local government official and, get legislature passed, you
Finally.
can marry your body pillow, Zach.
Finally. Okay, what's
I
next?
don't know what you'll tell your fiance, but
Well,
I'm sure she'll take it well.
it'll be fine. I got this body pillow. She'll understand when she sees the body pillow. She'll be like, well, it's a pretty nice body pillow. I get it. What's next?
Next is just over the weekend at Anime Boston. It was announced that One Piece Box Set 3 is coming out in October. So that'll be 24 volumes from volume 47 to 70, which covers Thriller Bark up to the very beginning of Dressrosa. So these box sets, they go for super cheap on Amazon. It's like something like under $5 for just one volume.
It's
I
like
thought you were
Japanese
saying-
prices. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying under $5 for the entire thing, and I'm
No,
like,
no,
oh,
no.
pre-order. I don't know why. Now, when I saw that it went from volume 46 all up to 70, I was like, wow, that seems like a huge jump. But just looking at my shelf now, I'm like, oh no, that makes sense. It's just crazy that I guess the previous set was a lot of what was it? It was Skypiea and Water 7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to go from Thriller Bark to the beginning of Dressrosa, it feels like a much bigger jump to me.
Yeah.
And then the
This is when
following
people have been
set.
asking.
I'm sorry. The following
been
set will
asking a
just
lot for
be
this.
all Dressrosa. It'll be a giant Dressrosa set. No.
I mean, probably they're going to want to do a fourth one eventually. It's just going to be a lot smaller.
Yeah. Wait, how many volumes is Dressrosa?
10.
Too many.
By the way, the whole panel at Anime Boston was us ragging on Dressrosa, essentially.
I know, I felt really bad. I felt awful when we were like kind of ripping on Law a little bit, and then that like really sweet Law cosplayer came up. Oh man, I felt like a jerk.
Crushed her dreams.
I'm sorry. She was so nice though and so cute.
It's not Law's
Uh,
fault that Dressrosa went on for so long. It's not
The
Law's
total
fault.
opposite
That's true.
happens to me.
There were a lot of really good cosplayers at our panel. There was this really cool Arlong with like the actual nose and
I
everything.
can't believe someone cosplayed an Arlong.
It was really good with like the full body paint and everything.
It was a great
That's-
Arlong. Yeah.
That's so badass.
Yeah, there was also a really good Dellinger.
Oh yeah,
Like really good.
and she had
She
a
was
shout
very
out for
attractive.
you, and she was very attractive.
Oh, she. Never mind. No, that's really cool. It's the first boss I missed out on now for years. Snap my heart in twain a little bit, but
Well,
The-
hopefully
the-
next year.
The one time you're not there and Dellinger shows up. Oh,
I know, right?
it's terrible. Anyway, what's next?
Did Dellinger go to the panel?
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
there. She even did your impression when she came up to the mic.
Get the. I would have been like, everyone, shut the hell up. The panel is beginning. Now we could start. Wow, damn, man, I missed a good year.
Yeah, she was from Anime North in Toronto, I guess.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Canada.
she asked us if we could go there, and I'd really like to go. She said there's like a really great large One Piece community.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I just imagine them all living in a commune in cosplay.
I would go live there.
Great One Piece community.
Canada is
feels-
awesome.
I'd feel safe. I'd have health insurance and
Oh, that'd be nice.
We'd be
Winter
kings.
Health insurance in One Piece. Nobody can stop us now.
and
All the bandages.
and Kinder eggs. We'll have all the Kinder eggs we could eat.
So I think this was a news segment.
Yes, yes. This is a news
No, I'm
segment.
just really happy to hear like all this Boston stuff. It's man, making me
Yeah.
really jelly.
Good. Let's keep making Steve jealous.
Shut up, Zach.
You always make me jealous. Why can't I do it the other way?
Oh, it's just not intentionally, so that just makes me a badass.
Okay, what's next before I go and cry?
Okay, so we actually just had an article like half an hour ago that I posted. The voice actors for the Tesoro Pirate Crew were announced in this random newspaper like Nikon Sports.
Wait, that's my
But we got
favorite
voice
sports
actors.
newspaper from Japan.
No way.
Yeah.
Um, but we got voice actors for Karina, the purple-haired lady, Mr. Tanaka, Bakura, and Ray's Max. So Karina, her voice actress is Hikari Mitsushima, who was a singer in Folder 5 who sang Believe, that One Piece opening ending.
Opening.
Wow, that's
It's
that's like
crazy.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
That's
think
that's a long shelf life.
Don't forget "Ready," the hit song from Django's Dance Carnival.
What?
You've never seen Django's Dance Carnival?
I guess I haven't, but I feel like I'm missing out on something important.
Oh.
Stop everything right now, Aaron, and go watch Django's Dance Carnival.
Someone's getting linked.
Oh, boy.
First, finish the news segment, though.
Yeah, so the next person, Mr. Tanaka, who's that weird dude with the big head, I guess. He's done by Gaku Hamada, who I looked up on IMDb. He's super young. He was born in '88, just like me, because we're super young. And he's done mostly like TV dramas and movies. The lady doing Bakura is a model / actress named Nanao. And the voice actor for Ray's Max, who's the gambling revolutionary guy who kind of looks like a green-haired Clint Eastwood, is this guy called Kinya Kitaoji, who is also really prevalent. He's a veteran voice actor / actor. And he's done a lot of like period pieces, like samurai stuff. So that should be pretty cool.
So is Ray's Max related to Max Power? Because, I mean, they sound related.
Well, like
Steve,
Mad Max.
nothing even from Steve. That was my only audience for that really shitty joke. Oh.
Yep, and
Womp
you
womp.
disappointed it.
You went trolling for Steve and you got an Ed.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
But yeah, that's our news for this week.
I just learned that the real definition for trolling when I actually went trolling last week. I'm like, oh, that's where that comes from. I get it.
You didn't
now.
know that?
I thought it was like a an under the bridge troll being like, I got you now.
Jeez, Grandpa.
It's the best thing I've heard all week.
Zach, the passive aggressive bridge troll. I got you now. I don't.
It's not passive aggressive. That's lazy. The lazy bridge troll. Oh, you're too far away. No, it's fine. I'll let you do that. I'm done. Done being a troll, and I'm gonna just move on to the next segment.
Anime recap? All right.
Yes.
This is the anime recap for episode 734, To Be Free. Dressrosa's Delight.
Rappers don't.
5 minutes. Yeah. 5 minutes, 45 seconds of recap this week. And
So we're done with the recap already, right? Because nothing happened, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it made me feel as though I didn't have to watch last week's episode.
Yeah. I did anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I watch all these episodes. So, I posed this question to myself at the beginning of the episode. I wonder how long the episode will take before people notice the birdcage beginning to recede. So let's just keep that in mind. But for now, everything is all fucked up. Luffy broke the city, and Doflamingo fell into the underground port, and his broken glasses flew by the camera for emphasis. Rebecca looks at Luffy while breathing heavily, and she begins to cry. She remembers their conversation at the statue of Kyros, and we remember that he did dress a lot like the statue of her father at the time. Viola gets her turn next, and she reflects on the choices she has made, with tears in her eyes about joining the Doflamingo family and everything else that she's done. So she believed in the pirates and argued that with her father. She didn't believe in the Navy. The pirates are the ones with good hearts. Law does not think anything, but as Luffy deflates, Law saves him. So, and this is as out of it as Luffy has ever looked after a fight. Like, his eyes are completely gone. His mouth is hanging open. He looks like a deflated balloon. What do you guys think?
Think of him deflating like a balloon, or
I mean, like, overall. I mean, just the Luffy after the fight look is what I was talking about.
You're asking how we thought Luffy looked after the fight.
He looked like he had a rough night.
He looks like how I felt after Anime Boston, so I'll put that there.
He looks like what I felt like after reading this arc.
He looks like how I looked like when I found out I wasn't going to Anime Boston.
Oh, Steve.
I will say, yes, this episode was littered with flashbacks, but not everyone's a dork. Not everyone's a dork like us who talk about One Piece every week. Like, Dressrosa has been on for years now, so I thought that this was actually pretty refreshing to kind of like remember where these characters originally came from or when they were first interacting with Luffy. So I kind of liked Rebecca and Viola's little flashbacks, though. Viola's was a lot of headshot.
Yeah, I really liked this episode as a sort of if this was the only time they did this sort of thing, I would enjoy it because it's called for at this point. Flat to look back on a longer arc, but they do this time wasting stuff every week, and it weakens it. Anyway, Dofi's glasses finally hit the ground. He isn't moving. People notice something has happened and demand that Gats tell them what happens. Gats struggles to speak, but as an announcer, he's got to announce. So it takes them 5 minutes and 15 seconds to notice that Doflamingo is unconscious and the birdcage is receding. So just thought I'd mention that.
Well, do you know when in the episode that is?
Probably like 12 minutes in.
Okay, that's all. That's it. Okay.
So, I mean, they really let that moment sit, and I appreciate the fact go to like the 1,000-foot view above Dressrosa to see like just how messed up the country was after the birdcage ran through it, and I forget where this music comes from, but I always like when they have a really good spot to put this in. It's a good piece of BGM, especially, and they highlight some of the former toy people. They get a little focus.
Well, there was that one guy that was thrown into the scrap heap who I'm not even sure if Oda ever went back and showed that guy, because I felt super, super bad for him. But
yeah, the human.
We never seen him reunited. He never reunited with his girlfriend.
Well, not everyone gets a happy ending.
Or maybe he was just over it. It's like, I remember you now. I missed you. No, babe. I remember the way you treated me when I was a toy. We're done. It's over.
It's a happy ending for him.
And actually show the shadow, the receding, how the shadows of the strings recede over the people. It's good. Some good imagery there. We see everyone who was pushing. They take a follow of the face, which is actually pretty funny. Riku sees the blue sky, but Usopp is the one really losing his shit over it as he's on Hack's back. That takes us to the ad break, so not much happened. Come back from the ad break. Gats speaks of freedom. He makes a speech to the people. He announces the end of the Dressrosa defensive war, and between the Doflamingo family and the fateful warriors who happen to arrive. There's actually a really cool montage right here, which actually for me really hammers home how they see Robin's contribution to this arc, protecting Rebecca. That was her pivotal moment. Like, because they show everyone's like pivotal moment, like even some of the more minor characters. Mm-hmm. So Gyatso is about to announce the winner, but he can't quite do it, so he's a failed announcer at this point. The people implore him to continue, and then at that point, Riku decides to have a memory. We have a little Riku flashback. The night Doflamingo came to his window like Bizarro Peter Pan and messed his world up. You could really feel his despair there. It's
would you guys watch Bizarro Peter Pan?
Just appears in the windows
Yes.
of small children. Wendy!
Convincing them. Wendy? What, convincing them to jump out of windows? Like, don't worry, you can fly.
But it's
Oh my
Doflamingo.
God.
It's Doflamingo doing it.
Yeah, just like, you can fly. I lied.
You can't.
Doflamingo is a prick. He would do that.
He would definitely do that. That would be his favorite movie.
Okay, now I'm imagining Doflamingo in the Peter Pan costume with the green tights and all that, and I'm just...
So at this point, Riku, he snaps back to reality, and he is seeing Rebecca crying over Luffy. And we get the Rocky Horror moment with Gyatso. He finally gets it out. It took him about, 2 minutes and 15 seconds to say it, from the time he begins to stutter to finally saying what happened. But the people rejoice, and it's a pretty good moment. Awkward bromance with Sai and Orlumbus when their weapons hug.
What was with
What
that?
Yeah.
the heck was going on?
I didn't know.
Wraps around his throat. It's like that thing from Avatar.
God,
No wonder.
Yeah,
no,
what did-
no
what did
wonder
he
why.
have
Aaron,
No
go
wonder
ahead.
why Sai has been so distant from Baby Five. Well, makes sense now.
His true love, Orlumbus.
What was cool is that each person.
Or love, no, that doesn't work.
Jesus Christ, Steve. What was cool about it though is each person had their nickname for him that they said out loud. You had I don't even remember any of them, but what was it? Luffy Land, Straw Hat, Lucy, etc., etc.
Yep. Leo buries his crying face deep in Robin's tits. Zoro occupies his sword as the samurai awkwardly step out onto where the birdcage had been. They were actually, it was kind of a funny moment. We get Frankie, but we get Frankie's flashback about Kyros, about how the forgotten are never really forgotten, and Frankie is he's reflecting on the two-faced nature of Dressrosa, but it comes back from the flashback with him just stone-faced, and then tears just begin to flow without his face changing, which I thought was an interesting visual. So when he begins to cry, the Tontadas offer him their hankies, which was pretty cute.
Really thought with Frankie crying, I really thought his red Terminator eye was just gonna start
Sparking.
bugging out,
Yeah.
sparking. And it didn't happen. I was like, come on. It's a good joke.
Though that joke happens later. That's why they didn't use it here, probably.
Yeah.
Because that happens. Yep. I'm not going to spoil when, but a little bit later. Go ahead.
We get some decent use of Overtaken when Kyros, he cries his face off. It's ugly crying. It's pretty good. And the narrator comes on to close the episode and say, nations collapsing isn't always a bad thing. The end.
The end.
That's the end of One Piece.
It never even started.
So at the end, we learn when your nation dies. It's a good thing, actually. What did you guys
It
think of it?
depends if you like the guy in office or not.
Well, our nation may be ending soon, so this is a valuable lesson for us. Steve, what did you think of this episode?
I didn't mind this episode, to be honest. It'll probably get a lot of flack because it's a lot of nothing happening and a lot of just recaps. But I think it's a nice refresher of where all these characters kind of came from, their stakes or their interactions with Luffy. But if you keep showing those in later episodes, I'm going to be mad because we don't need to see him anymore. We're good. We're done.
But we will.
But it's not a great episode. But I don't think it was terrible. I thought there were some excellent choices in music. I thought it was drawn very well. I don't remember the characters looking too wonky at all. It was fine. It was fine.
Aaron?
Yeah. I agree with Steve. Like, I could see the utility value of an episode like this for people who've been watching the show for a long time. Or, I always think when I watch an episode of people who are channel surfing and like stumble upon One Piece for the first time, if they are watching this episode and they're like, wow, that's a great summary of everything that's happened in the last, 2 years of the anime.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but overall, I mean, the episode was super boring, but it was punctuated with like moments of humor, so it wasn't so bad. Um, like I really liked when Baby Five fell on top of Sai, and she was just like,
Yeah, I
and
did laugh out loud at that. It was funny.
and when all the little tontatas like attach themselves to Frankie, that noise that they make, like week, 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 it's just really adorable. But I thought that the imagery of the birdcage shadow, like disappearing over the people and the buildings, I thought it was a
Yes.
little heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Because like
It's a show for
the
children.
birdcage itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, ugh, I'm so much more intelligent than these little kids watching One Piece.
That's what I always think.
I feel good about myself, So much smarter than 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
But the birdcage itself is already a metaphor for Doflamingo's control over Dressrosa. So when you have like a metaphor of a metaphor, it's just I thought it was too much.
That's what One Piece is all about. Ed, what did you think of this episode?
You guys heard what I think about this episode. It was, I mean, it was fun, but they can't do this kind of time wasting all the time and expect it to still have impact when they do it here. It was good, but I don't know. It
What-
kind of feels cheapened by like the stretching out that happened all the way through this arc.
It's easy to forget that the chapter this was based off of sucked. I hated this chapter, I remember. Like, it was a really annoying chapter after everything that happened.
Let's flash back to that.
So, in the original, but the whole thing, the chapter was all about Gyat's counting, trying to say Luffy won, Lucy won the whole time and failing because he was crying too much. And I don't remember anything else happening in this chapter. I think the anime probably did as good a job, if not a better job than the manga, given its source material, and I think partially because they leaned on flashbacks so much. But I mean, you can only make, crappy so delicious, crap doesn't taste very good in general. Unless
Are you talking about eating shit, Zach?
it's a metaphor within a metaphor.
There's a new law, Zach. It says you can't eat shit anymore.
Damn it. I think that's it for the anime recap. I'm humiliated at the end of every segment this episode. Why don't we
Yes.
why don't we go to the piece together? This is the Piece Together segment where we take your questions, comments, and theories. There's no manga chapter this week, but we're still taking your questions and all of that stuff. And Steve, you have our first one for us through our email account. Who wrote us this week?
Yes. This one's from Milo, and he writes, "This week on Lucci and Poochie, lost college bro aces in town. Eek. They catch up on old times while doing their favorite pastime. They're going jean shopping. Don't miss next week when we have an exclusive crossover with everyone's favorite show. That's so monkey." That's not a question, but thanks for writing in.
Yeah, next time, please submit a question though. We don't take
Yurko
whatever-
Theater, everybody.
on the
Yay.
next edition of Yurko
The-
Theater.
Theater of the Steve.
The Steve.
For our first real question, comes from HJ, who says, which of the following scenarios do you prefer? So you're going to choose one or two. 1. Sugar suddenly appears in Zoe, kidnaps Law, turns him into a toy, sends him into a rocket to the planet where all the Poochie characters come from. Everyone forgets about Law, and he is never mentioned again. Besides, all the Law merchandise is discontinued, and he loses all his fans across the world. All of Dude's dreams come true. Or, number 2, a time traveler goes to the past and warns Oda about the negative impact of the Dressrosa arc. will have in the future. Oda takes this warning seriously and works hard to make Dressrosa only 1.5 years long, and removes the following things. Senor Pink, I don't know how to her real name.
Is there a question about the budget? What is this?
Senor Pink, the Queen Orica Vacusuck, and Dofi's string clones and his awakening power from the story. Which do you choose? Which do you choose?
I don't. Well, I'm not gonna take Law away from One Piece. I don't get it twisted. I don't hate Law. I think Law is ridiculous, but I don't hate him.
I agree with Steve. I think is an easy. It's an easy pick. Takes out all the bad parts of Dressrosa. I'm fine with that.
I think Dressrosa just needs some fat trim from it. I think for the most part, I think Dressrosa is solid. It just wanes in a few sections, and I think it just needs to be trimmed. Was there something about Senor Pink? What was the third
we're getting
option?
rid of the second option. No, that was the second option. Getting rid of Senor Pink, Queen Orica Vacusuck.
No, you don't get rid of
Senor.
Senor
You can't get rid of Senor Pink. No, it's terrible.
What is wrong with you guys?
I hate these characters. I hate Queen Vacusuck.
Yeah,
but the
I don't hate Senor Pink.
Fight, that fight is amazing.
it is a good fight.
Yeah. Freaking, if you're a wrestling fan, it's nothing but Suplex City.
Yeah.
I just think Senor Pink's flashback is ridiculous, and I mean, we said it a million times, it's just awkwardly placed, and it doesn't make me feel sorry for the character in the slightest. It's he's an entertaining character, though. No.
Erin, what do you think? You seem to have different opinions on Senor Pink.
Oh, I really didn't like him, but like for all the reasons that Steve just said, like I didn't like his flashback. I didn't feel anything for him. And I also haven't watched wrestling since I was like 10, so that whole thing kind of went over my head.
All right, next question comes from Zombie Aladdin. He has several different names, and that's the name he chose. He has questions for us. I'm guessing no one here has seen My Little Pony, so I could probably skip that one, right?
Yeah.
I
don't think anyone has.
It's fair bet. Okay,
Erin.
Yeah.
What? No, you saying that because I'm a girl?
if you're gonna ask us what cutie mark is every Straw Hat, I don't know.
That was the question. I didn't know what the hell it meant, so you're already ahead of me, Steve.
Wait, are you for
yes,
real?
That is what it says.
Steve, are you secretly a brony? It's okay, dude. Nobody's judging you.
Come out of the brony stable, which I guess is the equivalent of a closet. I don't know.
Wait, you don't know what the Straw Hats cutie marks would be? It's so obvious. It's their freaking Jolly Rogers.
Okay, the other question from Zombie Aladdin also has how do you think Jack is able to make his way to Zoe repeatedly without a Vivre card or a mink showing him the way? Does he have some previously unmentioned means of reaching Zoe, or could he have a mink trader or captive on his crew? I had an idea for this. I just want to throw it out there before anything. What if he's an elephant? Maybe he just knows. Or maybe he's like talking to the other elephant.
They never forget.
They don't forget. I mean, do you guys have any theories to that? Other than my stupid one I just said?
Most of those things are perfectly reasonable.
The final question comes from Connor. He has two. I'll do the One Piece one first. He says, what do you think of the Japanese Jump announcement of the Versus 4 Emperors arc in One Piece with quotes like facing towards Sanji's rescue, etc.? That comes from ANN. William, Erin, and I were talking a little bit about this kind of thing, and we've gotten these kind of advertisements in Jump before. I think it was toward the end of Dressrosa. They're mostly just hype pieces, and the way William put them is like they're clickbait for the magazine. We're not getting a 4 Emperors arc, in the traditional sense. Although I guess that's kind of what's coming, but that's kind of obvious. But it's more of just a way to be like, come, let's get all the hype ready. We're gonna have all this cool stuff coming. So
harvesting
the hype. So we know all of this is coming. I'm very excited about it. Obviously, I don't want to lessen the hype of it. I mean, are you guys ready for the Emperors?
Hell yeah!
Yes. All right. Maybe we'll get a different thing on the spine of the Viz volumes.
Steve, you have a tepid response to that. A little bit.
Well, it just goes without saying. Why would I not want to see the Four Emperors?
Connor also had a question. I think this one's for me about my final thoughts on Harry Potter. I'll make it quick since I don't think most of the other people here are that interested. It was really good.
Yeah, I read them when I was in high school.
Yeah, I managed to. The deal, for those who don't know, was that my fiance is going to read all of One Piece, and I said I would read all of Harry Potter. So far, she's not started One Piece, so I got to
It's not
start
really
prodding.
an even trade.
Yeah, it's not.
81 books to
And-
7 books.
And right now she's
Yeah.
welching on that bet, so you gotta.
Why is that not a fair trade?
Because the time commitment, dude.
Yeah, I got.
You can do math, right? So
Well, the question is, does it? You mean how 81 volumes? But the one's a graphic novel, and one are like 1,000-page books. Like,
It still takes some time, man.
no,
And
I
if
know.
anything, you gotta pay more attention because you have actual illustrations to look at, details you might miss.
Okay. But to answer the question, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more as it got darker and went on. I think J.K. Rowling likes exposition a little too much. In this case, Dumbledore is exposition Dumbledore. That's the main thing he does. And that kind of, but her writing gets, I think, a lot better as it goes on. I was a creative writing minor in college, so I'm an asshole about these things. But I think it was a very well done book. And I really like the last one a lot. Let's get on to Reddit, unless anyone else has any thoughts on that.
no.
No, just no. You could ask us questions on Reddit at reddit.com/r/One Piece Podcast. First question comes from Black North Wind. So if Luffy, somewhere down the line, will hear Ace's voice again, will Ace say, "Please tell Sabo ... This is in reference to Greg's theory from last week, I believe.
Wimmy wham wham wuzzle. I should. No, oh God, I screwed that up. Ace should say to Sabo, "Remember to always recycle to the extreme."
I like that.
I'm so happy to see you're still alive. If I could be serious for a moment.
Thanks, Lance.
No problem.
Any other thoughts on what Ace is going to tell Luffy through the ghost and the... God, this is Harry Potter now. I'm sorry, now I'm comparing everything.
Yeah, I was thinking like Star Wars, like
Oh, yeah, it's
getting
also
all
that.
Force sensitive.
Those two have a lot in common.
Point of view.
From a certain point of view, Ace is dead. Next question is Duck Salsa.
Then from a certain point of view, you are correct.
Is that your George Lucas voice, Steve?
No, George Lucas should be down here. He looks like a bullfrog. With his...
He has no chin. He just has like a protruding sphere.
Yeah, just
A strange looking beard.
the Gungas.
What do you think he based it off of? We're gonna get sued by George Lucas. Next question is
For
from-
what? People have said worse.
I think one of our early episodes was like had a slam at George Lucas. One of the titles, like.
Oh, who hasn't?
Next question comes from Duck Salsa, who says, "Are you guys excited for JoJo Part 4 anime this Friday? Also, when is someone going to be correct Brian on how he pronounces Momonosuke?" Which,
I think we never do it just because we don't like to be rude.
yeah, well, this guy just did it, so if Brian's listening, he's now been corrected. I didn't do it.
And next time I see Brian, anytime he says Momosuke, I'll just say Momonosuke.
No, you just have to slap him each time he says it right across the face. Momonosuke!
That is
Momonosuke!
rude.
Or just slap his wrist with a ruler.
No, it's like an airplane, there's the line of people trying to smack sense into him. JoJo, I'm really excited about. I've never read part 4. I know Steve, you did, so I'm like, I have no
I'm
idea what to
reading it.
expect.
It's got some great characters. And they're everything you've liked about the previous characters. They're pretty interesting. They're pretty funny. It's going to be a very different tone than what you're used to with JoJo, but it's fun.
What's your favorite
It's
part,
fun.
Steve?
I got to be honest, it's part 3. Then again, I've only read through part 4. I'm still reading part 4. Uh, but I like part 3. Part 3 to me feels like an actual bizarre adventure. Um, and I love the main cast.
Oh, part 2 is pretty
Yes.
bizarre.
It is pretty bizarre in like the homoerotic kind of way.
Aaron has
Nothing
not
wrong with
yet
that.
watched JoJo's, and you
No,
gotta.
but I'm really interested now.
It's amazing. Like, well, part 2, the best way to describe it is just, JoJo
I love
versus
part 2. Yeah.
the Aztec male strippers. But I love Phantom
Go
Blood
on.
too. I think Phantom Blood is great for Dio. It's the Dio show. And part 3 it's great. JoJo is so good. It's so good. I don't know. JoJo, like, kind of like One Piece. It's so many things. And it's good.
So,
I
Aaron,
I recommend it.
when we're done tonight, you could watch some homoerotic adventures of JoJo.
The
Just
author is a
Sounds good.
legit vampire, so just good for him.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
I think we talked
never
about
ages.
this. Yeah, we talked about this with your friend at Anime Boston a little bit, or
Yeah,
you were
I've
there
had
when we were talking about it.
I've had a lot of people try to get me into JoJo. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, but it's on my list of things to watch.
You have to admit, Steve pitched it very well.
Yeah.
Mud
Yeah,
Runner.
all I said was it's good. It's good.
Homoerotic. It's good. I'm in.
Mud Runner 011 says, "Okay, guys, crazy theory here. We are guessing that Sanji is lined up to marry the girl with 3 eyes, who we see at the end of Fishman Island. We have guessed that this is a political marriage to connect the Vince Smoke family with the Big Mom Pirates. But what if, in addition to this, there is a physical connection between Sanji and Pudding? She has a 3rd eye right in the middle of her forehead. And what if Sanji also has a 3rd eye directly in the center of his forehead? 3rd eye directly in the center of his 3rd eye. Pre-time skip and post-time skip Sanji had their hair flipped in different directions, but the one constant is the center of his forehead is always obscured. What do you guys think? Is this a possibility?"
They're gonna
No.
live happily ever after.
Yeah,
They're gonna have a physical connection. Oh yeah.
It
Oh
won't.
yeah.
It won't be homoerotic though. It'll be hetero.
No. Well, that's fine too.
Yeah, I'm just prefacing. So, yeah,
Um,
I don't think we're gonna. I don't think he has a 3rd eye. Any other opinions on that? No. No.
I'm sure he's gonna. I I wonder what his reaction is gonna be. Like, she's a Triclops, but I don't think he'd mind that.
No, I don't. I
Um,
don't. He didn't mind. He didn't mind the furries. He was totally into
Yeah.
that, and the fish people. They
mhm.
don't
Yeah,
even
like,
have lower halves.
if he likes women with fish asses, then he's not a picky guy. Um,
I think you mean ocean meat asses.
my mistake.
Try some ocean meat ass. It's
No
manlier
one's
than the
no one's
normal
gonna get
ass.
that. No one's gonna get that. We talked about that off the record.
Oh.
But at
Now-
this point, everyone will have seen the Arby's ad on Twitter.
No, not everyone follows you on Twitter. Ed. I hate to tell you, not all of our listeners are following you on Twitter. But they will be now. Next question comes from Samuel.
Edward E. Fistizio.
Next question comes from Samuel Joda. "Hey guys, I have an idea of something different you could try on an episode. If I'm not mistaken, you record them the same day as the new manga chapters. It is Monday, yes. So maybe you could delay the reading of the chapter a few hours in order to read it for the first time while recording the episode. That way we could hear your live reactions to the chapter. Of course, this would be impossible for Steven, but for the rest of the crew, you could give it a try. I know this would make it hard for deep analysis of the chapter, but maybe it'd be fun to do just once to see how it goes. Uh, Again, that's from Samuel. Should I answer this or
Can I
Steve? Yeah, please take it.
crush some hopes here?
Please.
Uh, Doing that would be boring.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It would be boring. Um, like I know how I read, and it's not interesting, and
Well,
I'm not gonna fake a reaction to the manga either. I think the format we have is great. We all read the chapter, we let it soak in, we come back together, and then we talk about it, after reading it, and kind of, sometimes we're rediscovering things that we didn't the first time. We're a podcast. It's all about discussion. It's not so much
We all have
about
faces built for radio.
hey,
yeah.
speak
Not
for
me, I'm
yourself.
gorgeous.
At least one of
I
us.
it's I don't
Ouch.
think you
Ed, you're
find it
beautiful.
as entertaining. All right, girls, you're all pretty. You're all going to the dance. It's all gonna work out.
Yes.
Woo.
I don't think you'd be entertained. I wouldn't be entertained. I think like a live reaction to like something like a movie, I think makes a little bit more sense. But to the
Movie-
manga, no.
I think it would only, a live reaction's only good to like something like Movie 8, which we've all seen and we all hate, if it were slightly less boring.
The Grove Junior Saga.
You shut up. You shut your face.
No, the format we have. I think it's the reason why
It
the
brings
manga
out the best
recap
of the
is-
chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the manga recap is as good as it is. We read it on our own. We come back together with with our opinions, with our thoughts, with our theories, and it's a discussion. It's not about a reaction. I don't know if
I think
I
that
could
mostly
make
covers
it
it.
work.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the whole thing is I've read the chapter with you guys live. Like I sat down there and it's like, okay, we're all gonna read the chapter. We've done that before. Not recorded it. And guess what it is? It's silence for 15 minutes. And once in a while, like,
silence
whoa.
with an occasional
Yeah.
Oh, what? That's all it is.
That's all it is. You just got the full
The
experience.
podcast would be 30 minutes long.
So for those who want it to be 30 minutes long, this might be a good idea. Next question comes from Black North Wind, who posits that maybe Roger left a tone dial in Raftel. I kind of think that's a cool idea.
I think
Yeah.
someone before Roger left a tone dial. I mean, maybe he did too, but there was information there that he found, and someone left it there for him. So,
Yeah.
but
would-
I hope he did. I mean, that'd be cool.
That would be really cool. Just like for them to hear the voice of the Pirate King, I think would be very cool at some point. Maybe not even in Raftel, but just somewhere along the line. Because think about when would they have heard his voice before? We do, but John Gargia says, "Are any of you into One Piece fan fiction at all? I've looked at a few, and I like the little arcs. I don't want to mispronounce that, which I will. And why don't you answer that question first?"
I think Sai does. I don't know about anybody else. She might know a little bit.
Can't say I've read any fan fiction recently.
John continues, just are there any stories you would want a fan fiction of, like for Gecko Moria and his crew? I mean, we've gotten this question kind of like, what spin-off would you like? And I kind of, that's a fun idea to think about a little more. Please, all at once here.
I don't know. Fan fiction isn't something I've even considered in like 10 years. I haven't thought about it. I don't know. It's just not part of my fandom.
Erin, do you have any, like, if you had to pick a character to have a series about, maybe would be a more fun or engaging way, Ed, to answer the question.
No, I don't think that's true.
Like if we did have to get more spin-off stuff, I would love to see like backstories, characters like Koala. What did she do to reunite with the fishmen and learn karate and end up in the revolutionaries. That's the kind of thing that I would want to see.
Yeah, that
Good
quality
one.
would be interesting. Like where have there been big gaps that we don't know a lot about? I mean, the thing is, I know Oda will fill in those gaps. Even like a
Gene?
prequel with like the Roger Pirates would be cool. Geen, well, we don't know what the hell Geen's doing. I don't want to see a Don Krieg like series. I don't care about that at all.
What if he was actually like a really nice guy for the longest time, and then the Grand Line just turned him crazy?
I want to see a Gadatsu uh,
Yeah,
spin-off.
the thing with the hot
I think
springs.
Gadatsu's
Yeah,
Gadatsu's perverted
Most of the-
adventures in the hot spring.
Most of the stuff I'm thinking about is like based off of like the cover stories. Like, oh, I would love to see that. Yeah, but I don't know. Gadatsu is very underrated. He was hilarious.
uh, any others? Anyone?
I don't know. I think the journey of Kobe is very fan fictiony.
All right. So that's I guess yeah. Super Dubes is the next question set, and he starts seeing as I'm sure you all truly enjoyed episode 734 and how much it moved the story forward in the anime. Did any of
Yes.
you did any of you feel a little sick like I did seeing Red Sonja, I mean Rebecca, trying to drown Luffy in a puddle of tears? I know it happened in the manga too, but I just found the visual kind of disgusting, especially since his mouth was wide open.
Could
Ugh,
literally
salty.
drink
Don't
her
worry, man.
tears.
Yeah, tears.
It is a little gross.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, now I get it.
Don't
Now
worry,
I
man.
get it.
Your head wasn't the only one in the gutter.
I still don't get it.
Maybe when you're
So
older.
pure.
That's me. Any other? I agree that it's weird.
Well, there's that one shot, not of Rebecca, but of Viola when she's like looking straight up and she's crying and she had like her mouth a little bit open that I just thought was really weird and like oddly sexual.
Oh yeah, Sky, give it to me.
I don't know, man.
The ultimate erotic fan fiction, Viola and the entire planet. I
Learning a lot about Zack tonight.
Gentleman Bastard 12. Hey guys, bit of a long theory question. Do you guys think that there will be more additions to the main crew apart from Jinbei? If yes, to the above, then how many people do you expect to join? And do you think they will be new and old characters? Will either Oda or Luffy give us confirmation of the final crew when we do get to the final crew? And finally, what would be the point of no return after which no new crew members should join?
Already passed it.
I think so too, but Oda did
Yeah.
confirm that there would be one more. I don't know if he meant Jinbei or someone else though. But I think we're past. I personally, if it were just me with no other information, I'd say we're past the point of no return. But
I agree.
I feel like Jinbei is the most likely new crew member just because I can't imagine another crew member coming after the time skip. Like they've already been through
Yeah.
all this shit together, and for somebody else to come in and be like, "Hey guys, I'm the 10th member," like that's just weird. You know?
Hey guys, it's me. It's Mitch. I can't see it either. I can't see a new character just coming in at this point. Jinbei's the only one. Jinbei's the only one that's had ties with them before the time skip. I just makes sense to me. And I.
But what about Mitch? What about
we
Mitch?
gotta ask this. Mitch. Oh, Mitch. He'll be the powder monkey.
mean-
This goes back to what we've been saying in the manga. It's like people always ask about more crew members. Oda can't even freaking write an arc with all of them together. I
Infuriating.
don't want any more because I want them all together interacting with each other. And hell, we don't even get that very often.
Almost never. I don't think the whole crew's been together since Punk Hazard. Or no, since
Wow.
middle Dressrosa, I guess. No, they weren't
No,
really
but
together
they-
since the beginning of Dressrosa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since chapter 700. And what are we at? I'll tell you, it's not anywhere close to 700. Next question comes from Gentleman Bastard, who says, "What will happen to Momosuke?" As Brian puts, I'm sorry, Momonosuke after Wano. He
Oh,
becomes.
I thought the person asking the question was taking the piss out of Brian.
No,
It's
that
you.
was me. I'm an ass. I'm sorry, Brian. I love you. Uh, one, he becomes Shogun, or two, he becomes a Straw Hat, or three, something else. You have to choose. It's multiple choice. That's all we get here.
I pick A.
Yeah,
He'll
me
become
too.
the Shogun.
Yeah, I agree.
Shogun. Shogun, the whole thing is about Wano opening up its borders. I think they're going to attend the reverie with Shogun Momonosuke.
Yeah.
I almost pronounced it
Ooh.
wrong.
Shogunosuke.
And
Shogunosuke, yeah.
and he'll attend there and he'll be like, I stand with the Straw Hat Pirates.
And the second question was, will we see the brokers from Punk Hazard at Big Mom's tea party or ever again? And what other big shots might be in attendance? Crocodile, Garp, something else.
Garp?
She wrote. She said, "I would love to." I'm sorry. He's a gentleman. He said that's his name. He would love to see Garp just chilling and eating crackers there.
At the wedding?
I guess. I mean, his
Wait, I thought we were
son's.
talking about the referee.
No, that was the
That's what I
first.
thought
That
you
was
said.
a different question. No, this is the mom's tea party. Big Mom's tea party.
Oh.
It's a wedding.
Oh,
You do not deny an invitation to my daughter's wedding.
that's actually a good question. There should be some interesting guests. Maybe some wedding crashers. Well, that's Luffy, actually.
We've talked about
mind.
Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn showing up.
Somebody Photoshop that. Nami and Luffy, wedding crashers.
No, let's save that until we get to that part of the series, and then we're gonna make lots of Wedding Crasher references, like everyone's always wanted from us.
I'll have to watch that movie first.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too.
Steve, are you the only one here who's seen the Wedding Crashers?
No, I haven't seen it.
So none of us have seen Wedding Crashers, but we're all making Wedding Crashers jokes.
I think I've seen it on TV and like it was enough scenes to know where the movie goes.
Yeah, that's how I felt about it. Plus, I mean, when you see one Owen Wilson Vince Vaughn movie, you've seen all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not the same when Ben Stiller's in it, but
and when you see more than one, you feel nothing but shame.
That's true. Next question comes from Dirkalini. Is Momo lying about meeting Roger? This was talked about in depth with Greg last week. Only one person, or should I say Supernova, could possibly make that happen. Does this mean that we will finally see Hawkins again? His ability might make him a psychic who's able to communicate with dead people. Or maybe, I know this is a far out idea, but maybe Bonnie is actually Momonosuke. I mean, we've never seen them in the same room together, and on a more certain. You know what? He's right. Although, let's be honest, Momonosuke was on a boat, and we cut and saw Bonnie not on that same boat. Anyway, he also says on a more serious note, does the announcement of the Versus for Emperor arc thing that we're talking about mark the end of Viz volume saying New World? I'll answer that right now. No. I think, unfortunately, that's lasting for the rest of the series. And I'm just as annoyed by it, I think, as a lot of fans. But it's not so annoying that it, interrupts my ability to enjoy the series. It's just annoying enough for, like, the OCD aspects of it. I really hope they come out with second editions from Viz that all say Zoro and all have the correct arcs at the top. That's all I'm saying.
Never.
And hardcover. Ooh, hardcover.
Do it in Viz big with that nice paper
and all color. Yeah. And they have it in color in Japan. Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, it's not Oda's color, but it's that would be cool. That the thing that I just suggested. Does anyone else have any opinions about any of that?
What is Hawkins' power? Like he turned into like a
Straw.
scarecrow?
Yeah, I think he's a scarecrow. Man.
Okay. How
We don't even know if it's
so he's
double.
No.
okay. And he's also psychic? I
Or
don't
maybe
know.
he's
I'm really
lucky.
confused by this question.
Maybe he's just lucky.
He is a psychic, but I don't know if he's like a good psychic.
Uh
Okay, next question. No, he's like
Hawkins can predict the fate of your pants.
Hawkins is like the Trelawney of One Piece. See, now I can make
Oh, I
Harry
see.
Potter references. See, guys, I'm able to do this now.
Nice.
I have no idea.
Do the
what
John
that
Williams music.
he only did the. I haven't seen the movies yet, and you know what? I don't know if I will.
They're good. They're
Some
all
of them are
right.
good. Some of them are all right.
I saw
First two are skippable.
I saw the second one when I was a kid, and I really didn't like it, and that kind of made me not.
But you
read
got
the
to see
series.
it just for Ray Fiennes as Voldemort because he does an amazing job.
I've seen a
And
lot
also
of
Gary
clips.
Oldman.
I love
Yeah.
Gary Oldman, and I'm not talking about that right now.
And Alan Rickman.
And Alan Rickman.
Ugh.
Yeah. Okay,
Ugh.
they have a very good secondary cast. I know that. I would just watch Alan Rickman and just clips of Alan Rickman all day. For as Snape. Next question comes from Shy Guy 531, saying, "What's up, guys? So last week
What's up?
last week I had a bone to pick with the dude. This week I have a bone to pick with Ed."
All right.
Oof.
It's not me.
Pick that bone.
Let's move on from this
what is
before
it?
it becomes disgusting. On the last episode, you said the Whole Cake Island arc would probably take 5 months. Really? You think a fight with one of the 4 most powerful pirates in an evil underworld army on a giant freaking cake, as well as a backstory of a main character, is going to take 20 chapters? I don't know if you were joking or extremely intoxicated, but I would really like to hear your explanation, Ed.
Says it has to be a fight.
I think that covers it. Okay.
I mean,
I'm satisfied.
I was proceeding from the idea that he wins her over, and they become at least somewhat friendly with each other. I don't know.
I see it taking a little more than 5 months, Ed. I agree with you on your points. and
Partially wishful thinking, but
I think it'll probably take 9 to 10 minimum. Although I'm the one who said the Zoark would last another few years, so I don't know if there's anything to go off of there.
I just don't want
silly
them to
has
be
to-
like separated in the manga for more than like 6 months.
By the way, I'm saying right here that Zoark, if we're getting any more comments with that, I saw we're getting some, it's closed. We are closed. If you had yours in, that's it. We're done. And we'll announce more about that in the coming weeks. Next question comes from Captain Drunk Guy. So there's the intoxicated person. 2 things. First, I just want to thank Zach and Erin for doing the Anime Boston panel this weekend. Walking into the OPP Japan premiere at Anime Boston a couple years ago is what got me into One Piece. Aw, that's really cool.
Whoa.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. My first
You saw it. Wait, so he saw the documentary first.
Well, he
or
continues.
anything else?
He continues. My first exposure to it was a 4Kids dub of Zoro fighting the Meow Band brothers. Before
Hold on. If I can remember how that sounded, I do remember that Sham. He talked like this. Hi, I'm Sham. Hello, isn't this a
Sounds
great
like
voice?
Dr. Girlfriend.
it sounds exactly
Pretty
like-
much. It was Eric Stewart doing his best, Dr. Girlfriend. Hi, I'm Sham. Hello. How you doing? How are you doing? Hey.
And he said he saw it before school one morning, and he assumed it was a bad show about pirates fighting poorly dressed furries. Seeing how crazy and big One Piece.
Years
full
later,
circle,
the show
isn't
has really come around.
Yeah, it has. Seeing how crazy and big One Piece really was made me go back and read it from the start. So thanks for both introducing me to the material and giving me a place to vent my crackpot theories, like Big Mom's research grant to Caesar, really being in order of a big kid meal from Little Caesars, which for those who are not our panel now get to hear that joke. So anyway. My thought this week was
I
that
wanted a hot and ready. What is this?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I said this at the panel, but Little Caesar's just as evil as Caesar Clown. So, anyways, uh, my thought this week was that the different races have all had their own version of combat so far. Dory and Brogy showed us the giants could swing their weapons and cleave vast distances. Sky Island combat with dials and waivers, Fishman karate. We saw McGuy of the Whitebeard subordinates enhance his weapon with electricity. And we know now the Minks were friendly with the Whitebeard pirates, so he thinks that eliminates the need for fur to store up the charge unless they are using a dial to store the electricity from the fur and put it in a weapon, like Shura used with a heat dial to get a flaming lance. Of the group that are going to stay with the Minks, with the Straw Hats, do you think that they are going to get that power, the electricity power? Usopp, for example, since he hasn't used dials in a while. What do you guys think?
I think
Well,
Usopp
thunder
is
is more of
likely of
Nami's
all.
thing.
No, please,
No.
same time, guys. No, Aaron first. Sorry.
Sorry.
It's not. It's fine. Aaron, go ahead.
Um,
Here.
well, Nami's thing is thunder, but she's not going to be staying with the Minks. So I don't know if Oda would want to have overlap with abilities like that.
Ed?
I don't know.
Well, it could also be like electrical powering gadget stuff for Usopp. That's what I was thinking.
I still think it's static electricity. I'm sorry, I don't buy into that.
I was accepting the premise of the question.
I don't accept the premise. Steve, do you accept the premise?
Your premise, or
Let's go to the next question. And randomly joining us for just the last few Reddit questions and Twitter, we have from the country, I believe this is pronounced Japan. We have Greg with us. Hey, Greg.
Actually, Japan.
Japan. Okay, I've been pronouncing it wrong this whole
Japan.
time. I feel like such an idiot.
All right, special guest, surprise guest. All right, let's get into it.
All right, more questions? Unless, Greg, do you have any... Is there anything crazy happening?
Anything crazy? There's I don't know. One Piece is awesome. I'm super psyched for everything. I'm writing articles right now about amazing things. So, yep.
Greg, I saw on Twitter that you did an appearance on another podcast this week.
Oh, hey, yeah, that happened.
You were on the Kanzenshi podcast this week.
Yeah. Mike just kind of direct messaged me, and he was like, "Hey, we haven't had Jan, and we're coming up on 400 episodes. So do you want to be on?" And I was like, "Yeah, I really want to talk about Dragon Ball." So we talked about Dragon Ball on the site and the history. And if you don't know that side of me, it's a whole other, like, it's young Greg. So now it's old man Greg. So kind of like old man Logan, except
old man
That's
Greg.
that podcast is over 10 years old now. I remember listening to that during my first semester of college.
God, is it really 10?
wow.
They've been around since fall of 05.
Jesus. I thought we were
Yeah.
old.
We are pretty old too.
We are pretty old. Well, we'll never be able to beat them. Because
Hopefully, you're never getting too old for this shit.
No, it's One Piece.
No.
It's literally for
Lethal
some
Weapon,
reason...
folks. Come on, kids.
Yeah,
Bring
no.
some movies.
Next question.
Mel Gibson.
Who? Next question.
Danny Glover.
Who? Next question comes from
Joe Pesci.
Not from Joe Pesci.
Scambala has a question. We know that Sanji considers Zeph a father, and Zeph spent a year on the Grand Line searching for the All Blue. With Big Mom about to become Sanji's mother via marriage, the parental parallels are set up in the manga. Do you think it's possible that Zeph ever ran into Big Mom before her time as an emperor, and they have some sort of, I'm going to add the word romantic, backstory that leads to her to him showing up on Whole Cake Island? I added the romantic part, but I mean, do you think there's anything? I agree with Aaron.
Guys with big legs.
What do they say with guys with peg legs?
With big legs.
Oh, big legs.
Yeah.
Oh
They wear
boy.
big pants.
Okay, does anyone else have
End of conversation.
It was not something I had considered at all.
It's not something I wanted to have ever considered before.
I feel like the only reason Zeph would show up at Sanji's wedding would be to just laugh at him and ruin it somehow.
No, you're thinking of Patty.
Hattie. Oh, the one with the big head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that looks like Genie.
How do you know
Sinbad.
Oh, he
yeah,
also looks like
Sinbad.
Sinbad.
Sinbad
And Sinbad
responded.
agrees.
Yeah, Sinbad said, "Oh, that does look like me."
That's actually a really interesting idea, right? Because he is a chef and she obviously likes to eat food. So did he ever cook anything for her? That's an interesting notion.
Would she have been able to fit in the restaurant?
What if it ends up being like a ratatouille thing? Like if she's like, "Oh, I don't like you," and he cooks her this meal that makes her all like nostalgic for Zeph because he knows how to cook it because he was taught by Zeph.
That would
Oh
be
my God.
interesting.
Can't believe we didn't
no,
think of it
don't.
before.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that could be so fun. Be like, come on, Zeph, she wants to see you again. He's like, no, no.
Listen to the One Piece podcast in which a man catering his own wedding becomes an important plot point.
Like Sanji's catering his own wedding. It's like now the groom will say his vows. Yes, I just like to hold on 1 second. Don't bring out the hors d'oeuvres yet.
Next
Pizza rolls, really?
I want some
Who
cocktail
wants
franks
pizza
though.
rolls?
Is Gallus says, "Hey guys, this question's not related to One Piece. So let's just skip that." That one's to Steven. it's actually for Steven. So I'm gonna save that for next week. Please
I know
ask that
that's
question
Steven
again.
file.
What? Craig?
Said I
Put that in
oh,
the Steven
my
file.
name is Steve.
Yeah. No, not you, Steve. Steven.
Well, I'm Steven.
Steve,
Just
don't
choose
confuse people. You spell it with a V, right?
You fucker. How dare you?
Ogru has a question. Hey guys, I had a theory 2 weeks ago about how Momo could have been stuck in time after his father's death. However, Greg's theory, he happens to be here, so this is good, about
That's me.
about observation hockey, letting the Kozuki the Kozuki's pass down information makes way more sense, especially given the flashback where Oden tells Momo, "This is the world." Do you guys think that Roger and Luffy could be descendants of both D's and Kozuki's, given that they also have the ability to hear all things, but to a seemingly lesser extent than Momo? Also, do you think which of the people we see watching Caesar's live stream? That's an interesting way to put that.
His Twitch.
It took me a second to figure out what the hell he was talking about. Would you guess are part of the Vinsmokes or Germa 66? He guessed it was one of the people with the cigar and the glass of wine at the end of 674. So a lot of questions there. First, do you think the D's and Kozukis are related somehow? Please, all at
somehow.
once again. Yeah. Ed. Okay,
I don't know.
good.
I don't think it's that simple. But I don't know.
I'm with Ed. I don't think it's going to be like I presented this theory and I threw it out there, and there's no way I don't think it's going to be that simple either. Like, yeah, I really have no solid thoughts on it at this point. I mean, I have ideas, but it's going to be more complex than I think it is. That doesn't mean good complex. I mean, I don't know if we're going to like how this pans out. These abilities and my Momonosuke and the Kozukis are special. I don't know if it's getting a little bit into Lost, like, well, where do we end the explanations? But I do think it's going to be a little bit more complex, at least, than I presented it. I think what I presented was very kind of straightforward, like, I think it's this. And I don't think the D's are going to be so important. I think the D's are more related to a group of people, a race of people, rather than a particular family. So
I half agree and half I don't disagree. But for my crackpot theory, the moon seems to be kind of the potentially connecting thing because I'm Zach and hi. But, I mean, Kozuki is the 3-day moon, right? The crescent moon, or what was it? What did
Kozuki's is the light of the moon.
The light of the moon. What was the 3-day moon that that Steven was talking
Mikazuki
about?
is the
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. There's a connection to the moon. That's all I care about in this sentence.
Mikazuki is Devon, but it's not red Mikazuki. It's it's Wakazuki.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yep.
And then you've got, well, yeah, okay.
Well, it's just that I think, that plus the crazy moon, descendant theory may in some way coalesce. Even if that theory doesn't have any, real basis, I think the moon obviously has some importance. Via the Eneru cover story, there was some ancient people there. I think
I love Zach's awakening to this moon stuff. That's like 2009 for me. So I like how Zach is like, there's been an awakening in Zach. It's the
have
moon.
you felt? I have felt it. 7 years. 7 years from now, Greg, I'll be caught up with what you're talking about now. I'll be like, guys, I just figured it out. Zach,
Colors of observation. Oh my God.
Zach, it's been over for like a month. No, but guys, I get it now. I got the theory. Zach, that's nice. You could stop podcasting now. Anyway, no, I think I like the idea that there'd be some sort of connection, but I don't think it's a very direct connection. Likely I could see that family and the race of D's being allies in the distant past during the Void Century. I think that's somewhat reasonable. Okay, that's it. Oh, there were some other questions there. Who do you think any of the people watching Caesar's live stream were the Vin Smokes or Germa 66?
That's a really good idea. That's fantastic. I haven't heard that, and I hadn't thought about it. So bravo.
It's like one of those things that sound really obvious when you hear it, but you never really thought about it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the cigar dude per se, but
I like that
still
design.
Really good.
It's a cool silhouette. And yeah, I think that's it for Reddit, Ed. So it's time to
Peace the tweet. Yeah.
It's been over a week since I've heard that. It's time to piece the tweet, Ed. What do we got this week?
All right. Dow FAQ asks, according to Think Tank, which I think is a YouTube series, Albania calls itself Shqiperia. Maybe that's where Skypea came from. And he links us to a YouTube video. That's interesting to think about. Next one comes from some guy named Mo. You guys got me really excited when someone said that Usopp could learn some cool moves from Raizo. What do you think it'd be? What do you think you'll learn from him?
Who said that last week again? Was that Greg?
I think that was Greg.
Me.
So you got to answer this, Greg.
I don't know if he can learn ninjutsu in that time because they've got like a month, right? I don't know if he can learn any ninpo. That'd be great if he does.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it has to work with his hockey somehow, right? Like his sightseeing, his targeting. I would love to see Usopp with actually using shurikens expertly instead of like shooting a string of them randomly. That'd be great. I'd love to see some shurikens, some hiding abilities. Oh, he's definitely gonna has Usopp done this in the past too, where he's like hiding like what's that ninja from Murasaki from
Dragon Ball.
Oh, yeah.
He's come up a lot on this podcast the last few weeks.
Really?
Yeah, he comes up like once
before Raizo was revealed. I was honestly expecting like a big tribute to Murasaki, and time will tell. But I always enjoyed that character, and I would like to see like some nods to him. He was a ridiculous ninja, and I think that's exactly what Oda wants to do with ninjas. So we'll find out.
Ninja.
All right.
Plural for ninja.
Yeah.
We know Chopper's the one who needs to learn the hiding techniques, though, and probably won't.
The Kaizoku Rufi asks, do you guys think that we will ever see a badass bounty hunter? He wouldn't be tied to the world government, but he'd still hate pirates?
We already have a badass bounty hunter. His name is John Ongo.
That's right. He was probably the worst character in the Colosseum.
But please.
No.
Kelly Funk.
Damask?
Hello.
Damask.
No, there was worse. Rolling Logan.
That's my
Rolling
brother.
Logan.
Guys, that's my cousin. Don't say that.
No, there was. Please don't insult John Ongo. He had cactus hair. There was
Plus, if
far
you read his
worse.
attack backwards, it's a Japanese phrase.
Really?
Right? Remember that? Yeah. What was it? It was like oi harai or something. Oi harai. I don't remember it exactly.
You're
but,
saying remember that
um,
as if, we all know what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to think of now
I
who
thought
the.
we discussed it on the podcast.
I don't. That
Oh, well.
doesn't
I'm trying
even
to think of
that
who
doesn't
was the
sound familiar.
worst Coliseum competitor.
Wait, what is it backwards? What did
That's
you
a
go
good question, Steve. What is it backwards? Okay, hold on. Okay, well, Steve, think of the worst Coliseum competitor. Well, I looked this up quickly.
Okay. All right.
The mame?
Crap.
through?
The mummy. I thought it was pretty trash. Hold on one second. I'm gonna
No,
get the volume.
that one lion.
That's
That's just
Lion?
there was just a lion there. You don't remember?
it
Yeah.
was one of the animals like Ushi.
Yeah, but
Moosey.
Moosey is fantastic. Everyone loves
Yeah,
Moosey.
It's a bull with attitude.
He doesn't even have that
Yeah.
much attitude. He's just cute, and then he drowns, and we never see him again.
Yeah. Wow.
If anyone died in Dressrosa, it's unfortunately Moosey.
I'm sure he was delicious.
I don't know if he did a spread
Oh.
for the competitors at B block, so I'm just gonna look at C and D block. There was the Fighting Lion. There was Gladiator Meadows.
Yeah, I don't
There
even
was
know.
the
I can't even
there
picture
was-
Meadows.
There was the Mummy, who I'm gonna go with the Mummy because he didn't even make that good of a mummy.
Who the fuck is Meadows?
He was
He
just
was-
one of the human gladiators, right?
Yeah, he wore like a tiger rug or leopard rug over
Oh yeah, didn't
himself,
people
and he had-
think he was Kaido briefly?
Yes, they totally thought he was Kaido. There
Oh,
was
the
this big
senile
following.
fools. He did nothing.
That's
I
my
didn't even
vote.
remember he was a character until like when he showed up towards the end to kind of help distract Doflamingo when Luffy had to recharge.
My vote. My
man,
vote's Meadows.
How can we forget about Catman? He didn't even make it.
Catman's the best. He's in perfect hair forever. I am Catman.
That's fuck you up.
I'm gonna fuck you.
Uh,
Oh wait,
all right,
Greg.
let's move on from
Greg,
this.
so you have the answer
Oh right.
that we were all waiting for?
Yeah, I believe it was his epithet is like Oi Hagi no Jan, and boy, I'm sorry, Kanji. Stephen one-ups me on this one. I don't know what that means, but I think it's like not chaser, but like person that goes after, and like Gihai O, which is his attack, is basically Ohagi, Oi Hagi in reverse. So his epithet and his attack name are like the same thing, but in reverse, and they mean different things. But yeah, that was the one thing about him that I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But other than that,
And it translates
sparkly eyes.
perfectly. It's sparkly eyes. I forgot about
yeah,
that.
oh, beautiful translation. Yeah,
It's not Steven's fault.
no,
it's
good
just,
job on-
yeah,
no, good job on Steven. Just impossible stuff, right?
yeah. Okay, Ed. Sorry to
Yes,
interrupt your flow there. Go ahead.
Milos, the creator, also asks, or he mentions the entering the versus the Four Emperors arc, and FUNimation asks, with the new arc confirmed, do you think it'll have to be Luffy to take down all four by himself?
Let's step back again. I mean, we were getting a lot of this question. Greg, we mentioned earlier, I don't know, Jump had this thing that said Four Emperor arc, like it's the big new Four Emperors arc coming this
Like
fall
it's Yu Yu Hakusho?
to Kids WB. What are your thoughts on it, Greg? Is it hype? Is it worth it? Should we be paying attention?
Wait, you mean like are we going to have 4 arcs for 4 emperors? Is that the question? I'm sorry.
Or if we're just in
It's
the
just the
I don't even. That's the thing. I mean, we knew we were going to be fighting 2 of the 4 emperors anyway, and we're eventually going to be fighting Blackbeard. So
I think I've mentioned this before, but I don't see Mom being an issue.
yeah,
I
I agree.
think she's going to be more friend than foe. So I don't. The people are waiting for this like huge arc with the Luffy battling Mom, Nocta Dry, and like and it has to do with like men fighting women. No, I don't even think it has to do with that. It's just I think it's going to be a surprise. Like a lot of people are hearing this and like hearing me say this, but there are people out there who obviously don't listen to the podcast, shock, and are just One Piece fans that read it. And when they read that, they will be shocked. They'll be like, what? She's going to be friendly? And again, this is purely speculation, but I mean, I'm putting my foot in the ground and I'm saying, I am sure that she's going to be a friendly. So there's one down. Kaido's going to be huge. It's going to be enormous. And it's not like he has to go fight Shanks. I mean, they're supposed to have a meeting, and Luffy has to overcome him, but that doesn't necessarily mean fighting. So you're not going to have an arc for that. What's that, Ed?
Kid's going after him. He's going after Shanks.
The Kid.
Okay,
Alliance,
yeah. You've got Kid going out, and I just I don't see. I don't know. I don't mean to say the series is going to be significantly shorter than we expect, but I don't see it being as long as some people are thinking it's going to be.
So you're saying we might end before 2050? It's a possibility.
It's on the table.
Okay, so I will finish this before I retire. That's good news. Maybe.
Right.
What's next?
Next
Ed?
question comes from Fergtron, who asks, since Sanji's group were the curly hats, what would you call Zoro's group? Moss hats. How about that?
The Lost Hats.
Moss hats or lost hats. Yeah, those are both.
Ooh,
the only one I can
Michael
think of
Wada
is
fits pretty good. Lost.
Sword hats.
Sword Hats.
Yeah,
That's-
straightforward.
All right.
That's what he would
Shit,
name
man.
himself. I'll say that, but I don't think anyone else would name him that.
Yeah.
No. Cloud Trotter asks, if a single Zo falls in the ocean and no pirates see it, is Bonnie still the One Piece?
Get out. Just
All right, I'm not going to read any more Bonnie questions. Crazy thought. This is from Eric 3 Radio. Do you think Shanks was in the East Blue looking for Roger's kid? Keep up the good work. I guess when he came at the beginning of the series, when he meets Luffy as a
or
little
when
kid.
he was looking for Ace. That's an interesting idea.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, because Roger's originally from the East Blue. Maybe he's like, hey, why don't we just go
Maybe
hang
Shanks.
out? And
Where's Shanks from? Sorry.
we don't know.
That's a good question.
Shanks is.
I'm just thinking maybe he just wanted to go check out the East Blue. He's like, Roger always talked about it. Sounds peaceful. It's possible.
Yeah.
We don't know where Shanks is from at all.
I feel like it's been
Well, we
mentioned.
have Greg
I'm
here.
That's why I was asking
looking
Greg.
it up.
I thought he was West Blue, but
Yeah, that's what came to
I
my
was
brain
thinking that
first.
too.
Yeah.
A lot of people from the West Blue.
It is a good question. Why the hell was he in the East Blue? I feel like there's more of an explanation than just like, oh, he was
yeah,
just
he's from
stopping
West
in.
Blue. He's from West Blue.
Yeah, where the best sake in the world comes from, his hometown.
Oh, right, his hometown in West Blue. So I feel like there's got to
Yeah.
be like a real reason he was in East Blue that would like be I feel like that would be a real like plot point that we hear about later.
And he was there for a while too, right? He was docking there for some time. I think the first chapter, it's like he's been there for, I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
one way of putting it. Hey.
Oh my god.
Ayo.
All right.
Oh,
Connor
yeah.
Ritter.
Makino.
Con Ritter asks, since only Robin is confirmed going to Zoe, do you think any of the remaining crew will go with Cat Viper?
I think he means
I
going
think
to
she means
Wano.
Wano.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he means Wano.
Well, Brooke's not
God.
going to be there to sing about going to Cat Vipers.
No, I think they all go to. Yeah, I think they all go with Zoro.
To
all go
Wano?
together.
I think so too. Then it gets really confusing if some go in a third party with Cat Viper.
It's too many split ups.
I think there's already too many. I was like, finally, like everyone's back together and we're splitting up again. I'm pissed. I'm not that pissed. But I'm a little pissed.
All right. Fancy 2NA asks, or Fancy Tuna, I think probably. For the dub of film Gold, Mike Myers should do Tesoro with the same Dutch accent he used for Goldmember.
Yeah,
Someone's
sure.
been listening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Just
sure.
have Steve Yurko do it.
Yeah. I
Come on, Steve.
I voice Satan worshiper for 421K. I think I'm ready for this.
My,
That's such a coincidence. I was 421J.
No
Moving on.
way.
Oh my god.
My Lily Fern asks, this may be common knowledge for the regular viewers, but who are your favorite characters in the series? I feel like we should ask ourselves this question occasionally. Mine is Zoro. I think everyone knows that though. It's
Yes, everyone knows.
gets talked.
Yeah, you do mention it a lot. Yeah. Greg, I know you've been like forced into Frankie. Do you has he become your favorite?
I can't choose one. It's come to that point where I cannot. So I have a top 3 that are one. They're tied for one. Just because they're so important. It's Luffy, Frankie, and Zoro. And yeah, they are my favorite character.
Now, please someone draw an amalgam of those 3. I wish to see that.
Cronenberg.
Be a stretchy sword wielding robot.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Come on.
Wow.
Steve.
I think
technically,
I'm also getting.
No, Greg, go ahead.
The Bomber Luffy? That Bomber Luffy kind of looks like it.
Ooh.
You know, that Chopper Man?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is
Now back
kind
to
of the
Steve.
amalgamation. So that's your favorite character
Now
then.
back to Zach.
Steve,
Done.
go ahead. Steve, go ahead.
Now back to Zach. Now back to me. I'm kind of in the same boat as Greg. I'm slowly just not having a favorite character in One Piece anymore. There's just too many good ones, but I think my top 3 are Sanji, Luffy, and Frankie.
Zach?
When you put Luffy as your favorite character or characters, I think that's when you come to a certain point when you realize something very deep about the series is that like if you don't have Luffy and if you don't enjoy Luffy, then you can't enjoy the series because he's the reason for the season. Like he's the person that had brought all of these crazy characters together and that unites them.
But
And
Greg,
it's really, really, yeah.
sorry, which of the 4 seasons is he the reason for? Callback.
I want to
No.
slap you.
Zach, no.
I'm going now. I wasn't on last week. I didn't get to join in on these discussions. I agree with Steve. I'm going to steal his 3. I can't pick one either. And someone asked me during the panel.
You think Sanji's cool too?
So I was asked this at the panel, and I didn't really know how to answer it.
Why did you say that name?
Sanji's definitely the bottom
You
of the
know.
3 right now for me, but
What?
I'm sorry. Erin,
right.
what's yours?
So there was this like One Piece favorite character ranking thing going around on Twitter for a while. I don't know if you guys saw it. There were these cute little like pixel art versions of the characters, and you sort of like picked one or the other. And this website would use an algorithm to sort of pick out your top 10.
Are you talking
And-
about the Pokemon one?
No. Well, it was kind of like that, I guess. I think it was like the
I
same
did a Pokemon.
website.
I did a Pokemon
Yeah.
one of that.
Yeah, it works just like that, where it's like, which one do you like better out of these 2? And you pick one. And I did
my
that,
God,
and
is
my
there-
top 3. What?
Is there one for One Piece?
Yeah, there is.
That's what
I'll
she-
have to find it
That's
again.
what she's talking about.
Okay, sorry. It's I listen when I feel like it. No. You gotta link me to that. Like I gotta know.
Yeah. I'll put it on Twitter again. And so when I did it, my top 3 were Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji in that order. But, you know, just like everybody else says, I can't pick a favorite character. It's usually like who I'm looking at that exact moment is my favorite character of the Straw Hats. But time and again, I do find myself really drawn to Nami. I really like her. I really relate to her and project a lot. So she's my girl.
So at the panel, I deflected this to say, what is your favorite really tertiary character? Like, really unimportant side character.
Minato-san.
Good choice.
Lieutenant Stalker.
Oh, I hate you, Ed. I hate Lieutenant. I hate you, and I hate Lieutenant Stalker. He's so creepy. Whoever did the voice for him in the Funimation does a great job, though. It comes off as stalkery. Steve, who's your favorite super minor character?
Probably Dellinger.
It's
Or
kind
is
of
he too major?
secondary. Yeah. I always want to say Whoop Slap because I always wonder who he'd think was his favorite character.
So Dellinger's too major. Oof, that's when things get tough.
You want to think about that? Because I actually want to.
Sure.
Minatomo was always my joke answer, but I think Atachan, the guy who takes pictures for the Marines.
With a mustache.
I want to know more about him.
Well,
Yep.
he doesn't take
like
pictures anymore. I think he got fired after that Sanji debacle. What's next?
All right, I'm gonna move on. All right, Dr. Valkyrie.
Remember that
asks-
one
Oh, no,
shipwright from
this
Galley
this one is. No, I don't. This one is from. Run over my goddamn question. Mitch.
I don't know how angry he
Are we
was.
recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Okay. No, this is for
wasn't.
Dude. This is for the Arbiter of Poochie. You can ask again. Dr. Valkyrie asked this question again next week. Sandro Corazon asks, do you think we'll see Gear Forth in film gold?
Yeah.
I mean, they
I
put
would be surprised if we didn't.
Yeah.
they put a Gigant Thor axe in Strong World, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was just about the biggest super movie you could do at the time. But they got more stuff.
Speaking
to
of
work
film
with.
gold, did you guys see, once again on Twitter, I'm on Twitter way too much, somebody doctored that screenshot of all the Straw Hats wearing their white outfits in film gold to include Law also wearing a film outfit.
Oh,
That was an amazing simultaneous groan from everyone.
I
Just
really
ended after
wanted
the
to
groan.
quote it and say something snarky, but I didn't want the person to feel bad for doing it because they obviously put a lot of work into it, and it looked like a real screenshot. But I'm like, we do not need Law in this goddamn movie. Get out.
Nope. So little behind.
oh,
the
but it was
scenes
me
story
the
about
whole
this.
time. It's me, Captain Killjoy.
Greg, go ahead.
I was supposed to have an article up. My last column that went up on OnePiece.com was supposed to include an kind of in-depth look at the teaser, and Toei emailed me and they're like, "Hey, can you? It's coming out. The teaser's coming out. Can you work on this this article? Like, just kind of analyze it." And I was like, "Sure, yeah, okay, awesome. I'd love to do this." So I started writing it up, and I kept one of those things where I just kept writing, and I drew all these conclusions and stuff and put it out there. And I was like, "Okay, all right, submit for approval." And they were like, "Okay, we can't run this. We'll just run your regular article." I was like, "Okay."
Did you predict the whole movie in your article from the teaser? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know
Okay.
about
Okay.
that.
Oh.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah. Looking forward to gold.
Nice.
Definitely. How good you mean looking?
No. He's definitely looking forward to it.
Okay, yeah, I think he means forward literally.
91 Ryan asks, you get $50,000, but every day at least once you have to do the Frankie super pose and scream super. Would you do it? Dude, $50,000 is a lot of money.
What's
Per
the
day?
embarrassing
Wait.
part of that?
I don't get it.
You have to do it every
Where's
day.
the embarrassing part of that? Like, the Frankie
Like-
super pose is one of the coolest
You have
damn
to do it in
things ever.
speedos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg,
Oh,
don't you
that's
do?
tricky.
Greg, don't you do that every day anyway? I just assumed.
I pose for like literally every when people are like, "Oh my god, it's the One Piece guy. Can we take a picture?" I'm just like, "Okay, sure, do super." Yeah.
See, I was going to say that I used to do that every day when I was teaching because I taught little tiny children, and the only way to get them to respond to "How are you?" in English was to get them to do something fun, and they always did "I'm super," did the pose, and I had to do it with them. So One Piece
Nice.
teaches children English.
And
All I know is to answer this question, we'd all be filthy freaking rich.
I think I'd even tattoo the star on my arms for $50,000.
The star. I've said like I want that first panel reveal of Frankie without the cloak on. Like I would get that as a tattoo because that's one of my favorite 2-page spreads ever.
That's really good.
That shot right there is what started my love for the Frankie character.
Yeah.
It's
What's next?
All right.
It's gonna make me a
Sloop
very
asks,
rich person.
Strong World or Film Z, and why?
Greg, you want to start? Do you have a preference?
Zed, hands down. Strong World is a movie for kids, and you should watch it and be like, oh wow, this is probably really exciting. I should show my kids this movie because there's big crazy stuff, and they don't care about pacing and they don't care about story. They just want to see cool things happening and loud and big and powerful, and like that's what that movie is. And it's good. It's not great. It's good. It has a good theme. I like the Nami connection at the end. That really gets me every time I watch the movie. But Zed through and through is one of the first One Piece movie, well, but probably the first One Piece movie where the Straw Hats are not the main character. Zed is the main character of that movie, and his story is remarkable. And the first time, I think it was on Blu-ray when I was watching it, it hit me what the Z means at the beginning of the film and what the Z means at the end of the film when you see it broken and then together at the end of the movie and what he became or what he returned to by the end of the film. It's just there's so much going on in that movie. That I mean, the power is there. Of Strong World. The plot is there of movie six. It's not my favorite. Movie six still trumps it just because it's so different. But it's the kind of One Piece movie that I wanted to see on the big screen. So Zet all the way.
I don't think I could say it better than that. I completely agree.
Yeah, Zed he's a better villain than
Yeah.
Shiki is. Shiki's fun, but Zed gets you. All right, next one comes from.
It's to Steve. Steve or Aaron. I want to hear their opinion.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, I feel kind of stupid now because I really like Strong World.
Nothing wrong with it.
But I've only seen Zed once, so I can't really judge. But I've watched Strong World multiple times just because, for all the reasons that you said, Greg, because I'm a little kid at heart, and I really just liked how colorful it was. I liked the Straw Hat focus. I liked Shiki. I liked everything about it. And Zed, like, I really had a hard time getting into the minor villains, so maybe that's a reason why I haven't gone back. But I really want to now after hearing you talk about it.
Yeah.
Zed
there's also
is a
the time
movie
wasty
for
part of
old men.
Yeah. And I'm an old man
There's
at
al-
heart, so it works perfectly for me.
I also think it drags a little bit in the middle when they're hanging out in the spa area, but that's a little
Strong
nitpick.
World has that same issue though when they're hanging out in the
Yeah.
village.
Mm.
But Dr. Indigo has fart feet. So I mean, how could you beat that? His shoes fart.
Can't.
You can't beat that. Steve,
So
what's your opinion? Yeah.
Where are we at right now? Are we 3 against 1?
3 against 1. You can't just do it to even it out. That's not how that works, Steve. You have to choose one.
No, but I'm kind of glad I'm following Aaron because I guess this is only just asking what our preference is. And to be honest, I'm going to say Strong World. I think
Yeah.
I think Zed is a better film. But I enjoy watching Strong World so much more because
The
First of
Jamaican
all,
accent, is that why?
yeah, that's in like the top 10. But just the opening of that movie is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I love the designs of all the animals. I think probably my favorite piece of One Piece merch is the Strong World sketchbook with all the designs. I love designs
Very
of
good.
all the animals. Action's great. The jokes are fun. The character interactions are hilarious. It's so damn colorful. While like Zed is a lot of red and purple.
Yeah.
It's the one thing I would show to people that that are considering One Piece and they want like one nonstop thing, like just one thing, like show me one thing that could get me into One Piece. And I opt for Strong World. I think Strong World best encapsulates like everything that the series has to offer from from the hilarity to the action to the drama to the sweet little tender moments when it could when it gets serious. I think Strong World has all of that. I think Zed is great, but it's a film about old men, as Zach put it. So my preference, I prefer Strong World.
It's
All right.
here right on point is because that's exactly, we talked about this. This was, back when I was on the podcast almost every week and we were killing the Strong World coverage. But Oda made the movie for 15-year-old boys. Like he wanted kids that were just going into middle school to be able to see this movie and just be like, whoa. And isn't that what One Piece is? I mean, it is probably the most pure One Piece film, and it makes sense that he wrote it and produced it, because it feels like that is One Piece transitioned onto the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, Steve said that, maybe Zet feels like a better movie. That's why I like Zet, because it feels like a better movie. But Strong World is the most pure One Piece movie, without question.
Agreed, yeah. Ed, what's next?
Next question comes from Bradley W. Thompson. If you could choose a Straw Hat Grand Fleet commander to have a spin-off show, who will you pick?
Another
Idio and
spin-off
Bluegilly
showcase.
fighting around the world. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I love Cavendish.
I think Cavendish would probably have the best spinoff.
Yeah, man, totally. I want to know
Or
what his pirate
maybe,
crew looks like. They're like,
Greg, you could
What?
you could act in the Bartolomeo spinoff.
I was gonna say Cavendish, but I really want to see a Bartolomeo one. Like, I just want to see what this guy does on his free time.
Greg, you
Like,
live
I
the
want-
life. You live his life, you know.
I think
This week, Bartolomeo goes
Bartolomeo
to national
great.
television.
Bartolomeo is fantastic, but he works so much better in a supporting role, adjacent to Luffy and his crew. I think them on their own, it wouldn't be as funny, not seeing them react to whatever the Straw Hats are doing. So that's why my vote
I
goes
agree.
to
I kind of want to
Cavendish.
see that side of him. But that's just me.
I think all you're gonna see is a show about him doing a One Piece podcast every week. It'll be like Marin, but for One Piece fans.
He's gonna go back to cutting people's tongues off and stuff. And
Oh yeah. that's-
Oh my God.
Look, we all talk about
Zach,
that part
what's-
of Greg's life, but what?
What character do you want, Zach?
Of the Grand Fleet? I'd want to see Hyruden. I think any giant centric series would be interesting.
I just
Aaron?
want to see a giant pirate ship.
Right,
Like-
exactly, yeah.
How big is that thing gonna be?
Well, Hyruden fit
We
on
get a hint of
the
it.
on the Olympus one. He fit.
Oh, okay.
we get a hint of it back during the brief backstory of Dorian Brogy with Yuki. I think her name is Yuki. She has that like it's like a flashback scene where they don't quite remember why they're fighting, but it's like they're just comparing the beasts, and I think there's a giant ship in there.
All right.
Oh, it's gonna be so cool.
Liam Tasker asks, "What anime are you looking forward to for the rest of the year?" He's looking forward to JoJo's Ace Attorney. Apparently, there's an anime for that. Cool.
Yes.
Berserk and
Yeah.
Orange. I don't know.
I know
just finished.
two of those.
I actually just finished watching Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans this past week. It was all right. It wasn't a blow away, but it was pretty good. I still have like 10 episodes of Lupin to watch, so I'm just
Lupin.
putting those off.
Yeah.
I'm stockpiling those for a rainy day.
I'm way behind on that, so
Yeah, I stockpile a lot
I'll
of
see what the
anime
buzz is.
because
I don't buy into a lot of hype. I just wait for people to tell me what's good.
it's hard for me to watch a lot of anime because it's subbed, and usually I feel like I should be getting work done, and I have to take a break to watch sub stuff. I can't pay attention, but so I have a lot of stuff stockpiled as well. But yeah, JoJo and Ace Attorney, I'm psyched for JoJo. Ace Attorney, I'm curious how they're going to make that look exciting, because if you played those games, it's characters standing, talking, reacting,
welcome to my life,
and that's
Steve.
pretty much it.
I'm
so jealous.
Then.
Zach's living the Ace Attorney life.
Yeah, I get to point.
Mm-hmm. And you get to defend
With
all these
dramatic
zany
music.
anime characters. Yeah. And then you get to use a little gem where you could like read people's thoughts.
Okay, guys,
and
I've never
uncover
played Ace Attorney
hidden
before. I
secrets.
admit it. I don't know what the hell he's talking
How
about.
have you not
you-
played Ace Attorney?
Because I am
You know,
an
you could-
attorney.
You could get it on iOS.
Oh my god, I don't care. I don't want to
Alright.
play a
You
game
should-
about being an attorney.
Boo, Zach, boo.
Would you play a game about
Hey.
being an artist? Does that sound fun?
Yeah, Mario Paint.
Oh my god, I hate you guys.
Next question comes from Mikamot. Will you guys do a One Piece film gold cast?
Yes, definitely. When it's out.
Yeah.
We're not going to do it before it's out. Greg, we did that Z one like after you saw it, and if you're up for it, we could do that again with Gold. I mean, we'll see how your schedule looks.
You bet.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun, even though you spoiled me, but I didn't remember any of it, so it worked.
I think I remember listening to the spoiler podcast. So, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it'll come out in North America around the same time. So if that's the case, yeah,
that'd be pretty sweet.
That would be.
All right.
What's next?
Cadet Hat Sean asks, since there's no doubt that Capone will be on Whole Cake Isle 2, who do you think will take him down of the Straw Hats who are going? I think Big Bomb will eat him. That would be awesome.
Maybe Sanji.
That's my second favorite answer for that.
Do you think somebody's gonna like go inside him and wreck his shit from the inside out?
Yes.
Oh, that'd be nasty.
I think I said this before, but they'll be in his base killing his dudes.
Right. Yeah. All his base belong to them.
Yes. Anyone else have thoughts on who will kill Capone?
Zach. 1999 just called it once. It's easy target back.
Nice.
I deserve that.
All right. Himawari323 asks, what extras, like Chapter 0 or Romance Dawn, do you think or hope they would get this time in the new box set?
Well, Chapter 0
Chapter 1000?
Oh, yeah, there was Chapter 1000. I forgot about that.
Maybe.
It was Chapter 1000.
What was in that again? I don't even...
It was like extras.
Or is that Volume 1000? Is that what it was, Greg?
Volume 1000.
Yeah, there's no...
Yep.
I don't think Oda would dare let something be called Chapter 1000 because I'm pretty sure
there will be a Chapter 1000.
Yeah,
there'll be a Chapter 1000.
Oh, what I would personally want though would be those like some of the Green Data book, like the sketches from the back, like some of that kind of stuff. I think that would be make for a very cool extra. I understand they can't do the whole book, although it angers me. But yeah, I think that would be cool.
All right. Munchie the Panda asks, I called in years ago and requested this. Make up a or some devil fruit you'd like to see that we haven't seen yet.
I hate this question. It gives me.
All right, we'll answer it
because I can't think of any new powers.
I mean, a legendary dragon was kind of like the ultimate Zoan fruit, at least, and we might have gotten it. That'd be pretty cool if that's actually what he is. More legendary Zoans, ancient Zoans.
You're more
like
into
a
Zoans
unicorn.
Finally. You know what would be
What
cool?
Because
Greg,
I want to see awakened zones like that. Like zones are like cool, but I'm kind of over that. I want to see what awakened zones can look like because they're nasty. They're crazy looking. So
have we seen? We haven't seen
see more of that.
We haven't seen a basilisk yet, right? I guess that would be kind of cool.
Well, we saw one
Kinda
that
did.
fell down.
We saw one, but not a devil fruit one.
Oh, right, the basilisk getting impaled down. Do you know what would be cool? A rubber devil fruit, like it stretches and stuff.
Okay, let's move
I'm
on to the
getting
last
tired,
question.
guys.
This turned out longer than I thought. Winter Clown 19 asks, "Yo, if you could change the roles of the Straw Hat crew, who would get whose role? Zoro should be the archaeologist." Saki. I don't understand the question. I won't respond to it.
I'm sticking by Ed. I'm gonna go over there.
I think Rose and Riza should switch jobs.
I don't know. I don't know what would be actually funny. How about maybe give? I don't know. So I don't want to see Brooke not be the musician.
Okay.
Brooke
I
should
don't
be
mind
the
if Sanji takes
navigator.
over.
Everyone would die.
Well, if Zoro was the navigator, they would constantly be lost.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we still in the East
I've-
Blue, Zoro?
Or they would
Hey,
just like
traffic.
crash into the red line.
Oops.
East? I thought you said Weast. That's
All right.
If
my Zoro.
if Chopper and Sanji switched places, then Chopper would make everybody cotton candy for dinner every night, and they would all die of
Oh, I thought you
malnutrition.
said he'd cook humans. We're eating people.
Oh my god.
Well, actually, I asked
this
this
got
question
weird.
on Twitter the other day, but does Chopper eat meat? Because he can like understand animals, right?
No,
So does he
Cho-
like talk to a cow 1 minute and he's like, "Well, time to eat you, buddy." Like,
All right.
Chopper, thought you loved me.
All right. He only eats ocean meat. We all know that. He goes trolling for ocean meat every day. All right. I think that's gonna be it for the piece together. Why don't we round off?
Okay.
This has been the One Piece Podcast, episode 412 for March 28th, 2016. The good news I'm going to start out this ending with is we have panel audio. It's not the best, but I want to give a big thanks to Jim Nelson, who got everything together. We're going to post it a little bit later in the week, and we'll give you a little more information on the site. Probably over the weekend, we'll post the panel so you could enjoy. And I want to thank everyone again at Anime Boston for coming and sharing the One Piece love. It really means a lot to hear that there are actual physical people who listen to this show. It feels like us talking into a void, just because that's what we're actually doing. So it's nice to hear that there are people at the other end. I don't think there's anything huge coming up. The manga is returning next week. And other than that, we're, full steam ahead. I want to
Anime as usual next week, I think, too.
let's not think about that part. Sorry, this episode was pretty, yeah. So I want to thank all of our guests today. Greg, thank you for coming on. How could people contact you?
You can find me on Twitter at Ochimusha108. And you can find my articles at one-piece.com. Got a big one coming out next week in which I will revisit publicly, hopefully officially, some of my Momonosuke theory. And in addition to that, there are some things that I didn't go into in the podcast related to it. So definitely look forward to that.
Erin, where can people find you?
yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram at AmazingBedhead. You can also find my little tiny editorial on OnePiecePodcast.com. It's called Pirate Couture. We should have a new article coming out this week where we're going to talk about the outfits from the Tokyo Tower anniversary, where everybody looks like they're going to a wedding. It's going to be good. Look forward to it.
And it was really cool finally meeting you in person, Erin. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. That was cool.
You sound a little more
That's
hesitant.
it.
It was.
No,
It was okay, I guess.
I was deliriously tired, and I
Yeah.
said a lot of things that I felt like maybe didn't make a great impression. So
I don't know what I actually don't know what you're talking about.
okay, that's good.
Yeah.
We'll pretend it never happened.
Yeah. I also was deliriously tired, so I my same apologies to you. Steve, where can people find you?
You can follow me on social media like Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. Steve Yurko, all one word. Also, I'll be at 2 conventions in the next couple of weeks. I'll be at Zenkai Con in Lancaster, Pennsylvania this coming weekend. And the following weekend, I'll be at Techo in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Come check me out if you're in the area. I'll be there. I got a purple tablecloth now.
That's your selling point.
Yeah.
Ed, where could people find all your Arby's related news?
Well, that's my Twitter account. Edward E. Festizio has Arby's news also on Zach's Twitter account at Zach_Logan.
I don't have
Podcast.
Arby's news. I don't.
Yes, you do.
No,
You don't know it yet, but you do.
I don't.
Podcast is at OnePiecePodcast.com, Twitter.com, YouTube.com, and Facebook.com/OnePiecePodcast, Reddit.com/r/OnePiecePodcast. Leave us some piece together there. OnePiecePodcast@gmail.com is our email address. One Piece Podcast is our Skype name. Don't forget to subscribe on SoundCloud, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, or call us on our phone number. Zach?
That phone number, everyone, is 347-497-MAJI. That phone number, again, is 347-497-6254. Call anytime.
Call anytime.
With your questions, comments, theories, and ways to get around the passive-aggressive bridge troll. I need those ways to get around that. Anyway, thank you all for coming on. This was a really fun episode. It was kind of in limbo because I didn't know if we'd have a panel ready, and we had it, but we had already recorded like an hour and a half of this, so you guys get a bonus episode, everyone out there. We'll see you next week for a manga recap of the next chapter and an anime recap of the next episode. And until then, my name is Zach.
My name is Ed.
And my name is Steve.
We'll see you next week, everyone. Goodbye.